What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Goshen's Games, and it's Halloween time. And because it's Halloween time, we already know about the Welcome to Raccoon City movie adaptation, whatever you want to call it. We already know about that. That's going to be releasing soon, and they've been showing character spots for this movie, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take a look at these character spots and we're gonna discuss them. I've already actually seen the character spots, but we're gonna take a look at them. They're posted all on the Twitter page for Resident Evil, so we're gonna look at them and then we are going to discuss while we take a look at these. So let me go ahead and get this set up. Before I begin, and make sure you're hitting the thumbs up, subscribe if you guys are new, and I want to know your thoughts and opinions. And behave in the comment section, please. Behave. I don't want to hear uh, any sort of racist comments or nothing like that regarding the characters or the actors or actresses, because at the end of the day, they're people too. Let's be civilized here. That's all that I ask. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at these character spots. All right, so we're gonna start off with Claire's character spot here. I have some issues with this. I have a lot of issues with the way that Claire is portrayed in this game, um, or in this movie. The thing is that Claire, when she comes into the story for Resident Evil 2, like the original Resident Evil 2, not talking about remake, because honestly, I don't really like Claire in remake either. When we're talking about Claire in Resident Evil 2 in the original one, she's a college student that she's coming to visit her brother, and you know the story if you're a fan of the series. But anyways, she's a college student. She's not experienced in combat, nothing like that. And as the games progress, she becomes more of that battle hardened character, to the point that when we finally get to Resident Evil Revelations 2, she is full on, you know, uh, badass character, developed, and doesn't take any more crap from anybody kind of character. But there's that progression of her character that you have to see, where the thing that they do in this movie is they just make her badass from the beginning, and there's no real character progression in this, and which sucks, because if you're talking about going from movie to movie, if you the rumors being that they're going to do Code Veronica if this does well, then that leaves very little room for character progression when it comes to Claire. That's my opinion on it. Let's take a look at this really quick.
This whole town's been poisoned.
In our story, Claire Redfield is a runaway from Raccoon City. She's run away because she feels something was very wrong.
And look, I don't have a problem with the whole runaway thing. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, the whole issue for me is that you'll see it. You'll see it. And I gotta stop this every now and then, because what happens? I'll get copyright claimed or copyright strike. Sony doesn't play. They don't play.
There. Now she's coming back to tell her brother some very important information.
Why are you back here, Claire?
Watch this.
You gotta help us, Claire. Umbrella, we had a little incident. People are getting sick.
And this goes back to what I mentioned before in one of my other trailer videos. I'm sorry, I'm moving the mask around. It's just I gotta shave. I'm like, itchy now wearing this mask. But this goes back to what I was saying before, is that it seems like the whole reason why Chris and the Alpha team goes to the Spencer mansion is because of Claire, because Claire sends them over to go investigate. Where, in the games, it's because, the grisly murders that were going on, and then Bravo team went out. And because the helicopter crashed, then Alpha teams followed suit, looking for Bravo team and any survivors. In this, it looks like Claire is just taking the lead, and just the whole movie's about Chris and Claire, which is fine. But again, it gives some problems, because then it makes characters like Jill, who's a very predominant character in the Resident Evil series, it makes her seem like she's a side character.
We have to contain this. Claire is a rounded character. She has her own journey. She isn't just there to shoot guns.
And see,
I
here's
love how rebellious she is.
see
Fun.
here we go.
She's an absolute badass.
This is the problem that I have. So the whole rebellious thing, the whole, badass thing, I feel like that's just what they're doing with all female characters in any action movie at this point, or just in any movie. And I'm not saying that I want the female characters to be damsel in distresses or anything like that. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that it leaves little to no room for any sort of character development. At least in the Paul Anderson movies, at least there was some character development for Alice in the first two movies, really. She lost her memory. She didn't know she was a sleeper agent for Umbrella, and you had that character development happen in the first movie, and in the second movie, she's finding out who she really is. That she was an experiment and all this other stuff. So at least there was that sort of character development and character progression for Alice in those movies. But in this movie, you're leaving no room for Claire to have any of that character progression. This version of Claire already seems like it's an older version of Claire. She seems like she's Chris's older sister instead of Chris's younger sister. But again, I have that problem because this Claire it seems like it's based off of remake Claire, not the original Claire, which the original Claire is the one that had all that character progression from Resident Evil 2, Code Veronica, the movies, and then Revelations 2. This Claire is skipping all of that. And that was the problem that I had with Resident Evil 2 remake Claire, is that she skipped all of that.
We're gonna take Umbrella down.
Yeah, so that's Claire, right? I don't like the way that they're portraying her. I like, okay, we're gonna watch Chris Redfield next, and I don't mind Chris Redfield. This one's I'm okay with.
Small town hero. Right here. And now he's part of the Raccoon City Police Force.
Umbrella Corporation has.
The only thing they seems to have taken away from Chris Redfield here is that he's not an Air Force pilot. That's what it seems like they're taking away, which, I mean, I'm okay with that, but it kind of also takes away that, like, he can pilot the helicopter, that he can fly the plane in Code Veronica, stuff like that. Like, so I don't know how they're going to progress with that. But unless they just say it really quick, I spent some time in the Air Force, which I mean, it's not really that big a deal. You can work around that. But the small town hero, Chris Redfield, which makes it seem like they're like building up to. I'm taking this off. Taking it off. Which it makes it seem like they're building up towards, him being an action hero eventually. Which is fine. I don't have a problem with that because it gives room for character development, which is kind of how Chris Redfield was. He wasn't this big action hero in the first game. Even in Code Veronica, he wasn't action hero Chris yet. Like, it's just how he progressed over time.
A virus, and the virus infects Raccoon City.
If we don't contain this, it could threaten the whole world.
Chris has to become more than just a small town hero. He has to become this action hero.
Which here, okay, here's my thing. If they all become action heroes at the end of this, or if they're action heroes at the beginning of it from all the way, like, it just takes away from character progression. That is my biggest thing, is like they are just cutting out all the character progression for these characters, and that just leaves them with nothing. The whole thing with Chris in the games is that because of his loss to Wesker in Code Veronica, that prompted him to bulk up, to become stronger, to become that action hero. It's not so much because of the incident from the first Resident Evil. The first Resident Evil prompted Chris and Jill to take down Umbrella. So then they approached Chief Irons. Chief Irons shut them down, and then they went to Europe to try and shut down Umbrella themselves. And so all of that happening, and then Code Veronica happens, and so Chris then goes to save Claire. But because of his loss to Wesker in Code Veronica, that prompts him to become that action hero, not the events of the first game.
What's really cool about our movie is that it is very much an adaptation of the games.
We gotta get out of here.
It's like I'm living in the video game.
Okay, so here, this part, and I said this before too, this makes me think that Claire is in the mansion with them. That Claire and Leon go to the mansion with them. Man, this is a really weird movie. It's extremely weird. I'm not understanding what they're doing with this. God, it's so weird. This movie is so weird. Oh, and there's another thing too, which we're gonna I'll go back to in a second on the Claire thing.
Out of here. It's like I'm living in the video game, and it's really, really exciting.
Get behind me!
The zombies look good though. Like, I'll give them that. The zombies look really good. All right, so let me go back to the Claire spot really quick. Right here. So the Claire spot, something that bothers me and again leads to, them potentially being in the mansion together is, where are you? Right there. Who's that? That's Lisa Trevor. And that looks like they're in the mansion. So what is this movie? Like, honestly, what is this movie? Why is Lisa Trevor just walking along with them? Is Lisa Trevor Sherry? I just don't know what they're doing with this. This is so confusing. So confusing. Like, I can't see any feasible reason why Lisa Trevor would be with them. None whatsoever. I just don't understand this. I don't understand this. Let's go to Leon. I think Leon's next. Yeah, Leon's next.
An origin. Welcome to Raccoon City is very much an origin story. So we see Leon Kennedy's journey.
I've said this before. I think this was a very poor choice of actor for Leon, but they clearly said they don't want somebody who looks like Leon. Okay, fine. At least shave him. At least shave him. You know, like, I don't know.
For fans, Leon's an action hero, but we really want to go back to the original second.
Okay, here's my thing. If you want to go back to the original second game, then why are you making Claire the way that you're making her? So you're making Leon this version of Leon, but not remake version of Leon, but you're making Claire remake version of Claire, but not original RE2 Claire. I just don't understand this.
Game, where he's quite a nerdy, reluctant hero.
Guys!
It was really important to cast the actor that could bring Leon Kennedy to life. We did not want someone that looked identical.
See, right there, they're saying they didn't want somebody to look identical. That, you know what? That's okay. I can live with that. But at least shave. Let it, he's, I don't know. He just looks weird.
To the games, but had no emotional connection.
The fans are going to be happy with this movie because it's pulling very much from the games. Shall we go?
Throughout the movie, we see Leon become the character that gamers will recognize.
And here's the other thing too. How soon is this happening? I feel like this isn't going to be the end of the movie. I feel like this is like midway through the movie, and then they go to the mansion with everybody else. I don't know. I just can't think of a way for them to do this properly. Especially, look, watch. Hold on.
Rock.
Why is Chris Redfield with them there in the train? That's why I'm confused. Is that Chris Redfield? It's a little blurry. I can't really tell 100%. It looks like he's wearing the vest. That looks kind of like Robbie Amell, just dirtied up a little bit. But why is he in the train with them? I'm so confused right now. So thoroughly confused. So do they all go to the mansion together, and then after the mansion they all go to the RPD, and like we're doing it like that? I don't know. That's why I'm. And then when Leon sees the liquor and he's like, guys, so obviously he's not talking to Claire because he would have said Claire. So he's saying guys, so then he's referring to everybody. Also, I want to mention the lack of Jill and Wesker in the trailers. Is Jill gonna die? I feel like they're gonna kill Jill.
Rocket launcher? Found it in first class.
So they said there's not gonna be any tyrants too. So if there's no tyrants, then that means the ending to the mansion is gonna be vastly different. All right, let's take a look at Wesker's now.
Albert Wesker is known in the games to be one of the key.
Which I'm actually okay with Wesker's, like the way that they're doing Wesker. I think out of all of them, besides Chris Redfield, I feel like they're doing Wesker probably the best.
Villains of the story. We didn't want him to be a stereotypical villain. We wanted him to be likable.
Because see, here's the thing. Wesker is supposed to be an undercover agent for Umbrella. And then eventually he goes off and does his own thing. And he betrays Umbrella. But in the games, the way that it's portrayed, he's a very stoic kind of character. So there's not really much to just go on. I mean, that stoicism is part of his personality. So they're getting rid of that stoicism in this movie. But at the same time, I'm okay with it because if you're trying to blend in, you're being a sleeper agent and all that stuff, you don't want to stand out, right? Like, I feel like if you're a very stoic kind of person, you're going to stand out from everybody. And, you know, it's easier to keep secrets if you're blended in with everybody. So that I feel like the way that they're portraying Wesker in this, I can get behind. And then his eventual reveal that he's the villain and all that, like, they're saying from the beginning he's a villain. So, like, I'm okay with this.
The faster we find him, the faster we can get out of here. We're seeing who he really is underneath the sunglasses.
And I love that they have the Moonlight Sonata piano puzzle. I don't like that it's not Jill who's playing it. Like, that's an iconic moment for Jill. Like, that's Jill's thing. Why would you take that away from Jill? But you got to be like that for her. I mean, it already seems like you're pushing Jill to the wayside in this whole damn movie. Why are you going to give her the piano? I do like that shot, that reveal of what, like, the door opening. Like, that's a nice, solid shot right there. I got to stop it because Moonlight Sonata is going to get the video copyright claimed.
It's an origin story that brings that version of Wesker.
I do, like I said, I really do like how they're building Wesker up into the eventual reveal and all that stuff. The only thing I have an issue with is what happens next. I feel like Jill is replacing Barry. I feel like that's what's going to happen. Jill's going to be taking the place of Barry, and that's probably why we don't see a lot of her. And I feel like she's going to die. I feel like they're going to kill Jill because you don't really see much of Jill in anything else. And the way that they're building Jill and Wesker's relationship, because apparently they're dating in this, that betrayal for Jill, it would hit her very hard. And to see that happen, I mean, it just feels like Jill is replacing Barry. So Jill's Barry in this.
We watch his character evolve and become the Wesker that we all know from the games.
It really does.
I'm just stopping it here just because music. that's the only reason. Other than that, it just, yeah.
Feel like we're making the movie version of the game.
I'm not really offering you a choice.
See right there, I mean, he's not talking to Barry because Barry's not in this movie. So who else would he be talking to? He's not talking to Chris Redfield. The only person that seems to be with him the entire time is Jill. So he would be talking to Jill. I mean, again, Jill's replacing Barry in this. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. All right, so we're going to move on to Jill now. Poor Rebecca gets no love. There's no Rebecca in here.
I always go, if this really... Oh my god. I love horror films. I always go, if this really happened...
I don't like this, by the way.
It's guns.
I've already seen this, and I made a post on Twitter regarding this. I don't like the way that they're portraying Jill. I like the actress for Jill. I think she's a phenomenal choice. But they wrote her wrong. They did. Basically, Jill and Claire are both badasses. Like, you can't have them both be badasses, okay?
Really?
What?
Someone should confiscate that. Jill is a little bit crazy.
What the...
And like the whole rebellious, crazy thing, that's not Jill. Jill is a very calm and collected character in the games. She's basically the glue that holds everybody together. She's the one who's level-headed. She's the one who who basically is like, I don't want to say the heart of the group, but in a way kind of is. And just to have her be like this, where she's pointing a gun at some random dude, which is probably Leon over there, being drunk, and if it is, awesome, because in the original RE2, the reason why he was late to his job was because he stayed up all night partying. So I'm down for that. Also, I give him props for the diner. That diner is almost a shot for shot for Resident Evil 3, the original, not remake. It's almost shot for Resident Evil 3 diner, where Jill runs in the back with Carlos and throws a thing that blows up on Nemesis. So yeah, that give him props for that. But yeah, this isn't my Jill. Like, just the way that they portrayed her, like, this Jill's not kind of crazy.
Worst way to die, B.
You're a freak, Valentine.
She works in the police force in this small town.
Hey!
You snooze, you lose.
What?
It's Jill Sandwich now.
See, Jill Sandwich, I mean, she's Barry. I'm telling you, Jill is Barry.
She's very loyal.
Go get the others. I'll find a way out.
You don't mess with her.
So, okay. This part. Right here. This is RE3. They are blending, and I said this before, they're blending RE1, RE2, and RE3 into one movie. Jill is Barry and Jill. And guess what? Leon is Carlos. Leon is Leon and Carlos. He looks like Carlos. This moment right here, where they're on the train, and it gives you the choice in the original game, not in remake, gives you the choice, jump out the window or pull the brake. This is that moment. This is that moment right here.
The others. I'll find a way out.
You don't mess with her.
Come on.
She's just so badass.
Not every character can be badass. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Jill doesn't become badass until the third game, which is after RE1. She becomes badass because of the events of the first game, where she experienced Wesker's betrayal. She experienced the thing with Barry, you know, like finding Chris and all of that stuff. And so that's what made her become badass. It's not so much that she's badass from the beginning. I just don't like the way that they're portraying Jill here. I didn't like how they're portraying Claire. That's not Jill. This movie just seems like it's a whole mess, honestly. Look, I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I just it's not that I want a 1-for-1 remake or, you know, 1-for-1 version in a movie adaptation. I don't want that. You want to have some you know, your own original twist or whatever, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is you're trying to cram too much into an hour and a half. That's my problem. You have story elements for 3 games for 4 different characters that you're trying to cram into an hour and a half movie. It just doesn't work. That's just too much. That's my biggest problem, my biggest gripe. Honestly, the proper way to do this would be do RE1, do the story of RE1, take whatever, if you want to take liberties with the story of RE1, fine, do that. Or do RE0 and RE1. You could even do that. You could combine story elements of RE0 and RE1 and it would still work. And again, you're taking liberties with it and all that stuff, and that's fine. And then the second movie, you do RE2, RE3 together. That's what you do. You don't do RE1, 2, and 3 all together, mismatched into this big amalgamation of a blob of, and then serve it to the fans and be like, here's your movie. Right? Like that's just what it seems like. It's a big mess. It's a big mess. But you know what? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. This was rather long. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Happy Halloween, everyone. I need to go shave because it was itchy under here. And I will see you guys next time. Happy gaming.